Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and today I'm going to review the 2019 remake of Stephen King's Pet Sematary. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and put out videos every single day. You can also find me over Twitter and Instagram at Movie Guy 365. Alright, Pet Sematary 2019 remake. The original version, which I believe was 1989, which of course comes from the famous Stephen King book. Now, when I saw this one in theaters, I was lukewarm to it pretty much. It's an okay movie. It has some good atmosphere to it. But I think one of my main problems with this film is it feels too much like a production. Because there's obviously scenes set up, that are on a soundstage and don't look great. If you want a good atmospheric movie in a similar vein, check out the Lionsgate's 4K edition of The Witch, which is, there's a lot of forests and trees and natural lighting and that kind of thing. I think that was one of the main things I didn't like about this film, is it felt artificial to me. It didn't feel great. I felt that the original version did it much better. I can also point out some of the story elements I didn't like, but I mean, overall it's an okay film. I thought it was worth getting, but I did not think it was worth getting on a Steelbook edition for 4K over at Best Buy. It's a nice Steelbook, but you got to kind of make choices here. So I opted to go for the standard slipcover edition, and as I said, it's an okay film. But I'm going to touch on the HDR/Dolby Vision aspects as well as the Dolby Atmos. And you can leave it up to you to decide if it's going to be worth picking up. As far as Dolby Vision goes, I think it's an adequate picture. It's very nice in certain elements. When they're focusing on things like landscape and skin texture, the creepiness of the house, that kind of thing. That's where Dolby Vision kind of really shines at this point. But the film inherently is a dark movie. But the problem is it kind of just comes, as I mentioned earlier, with the scene in the cemetery. Some parts of it are very artificial, and it shows a little bit when you're watching it on the film. It does have kind of a bit of a filmic look to it, but I believe this movie was shot digitally, and that's always nice to make it more of a film aspect kind of look to it, especially since a lot of films today aren't filmed, the good old-fashioned way. But it's a decent looking picture. It is not going to blow you away compared to the standard Blu-ray. It's not a night and day difference, pardon the pun. But it does look good, and I would suggest, if you are on the fence between this version, the 4K, or the Blu-ray, I would still go with the 4K naturally, but don't expect huge amounts of difference. This isn't. You're not going to see the HDR color pop very much. It is because, as I said, a darker movie. So when you have Dolby Vision, you got to look at details and the black levels, which look really, really deep in spots. When they do, when they're not focusing on, the things like, as I mentioned, with the cemetery aspect, it does look good. It actually does really look good, but, it's not the star of the show. I would give that slight edge to the Dolby Atmos track. Now, Atmos, it has some good parts to it. It's not reference quality, but it sounds a lot better than the things that we get typically from, a Disney/Marvel film, where they, for some reason lower the Atmos. But this one, when you get the truck roaring by at the beginning of the movie, you're feeling it. That LFE is just going to rock your room. And also, it just passes by. It's a nice seamless transfer from one end of the room to the other, utilizing your surround sound system. There's a lot of atmospheric elements at play, things like the forest sounds and just little creepy wind gusts that, appear behind your ears. I would definitely recommend watching this with the surround sound system and not through your TV speakers. You are, I think, missing half the movie in that way. As I mentioned, it's not a reference quality, but I think I like to kind of say, oh, what's the selling point of this disc? I would say it's the audio. Dolby Vision's nice. It's always a welcome thing, but it's not going to, blow you away in any way. But I think the audio is very, very immersive. It sounds good. There's a lot going on. Crank those speakers up, because you're going to get an impressive show, even if the movie itself is not the best movie on the planet. So that's pretty much going to do my review for the remake of 2009's Pet Sematary. Let me know in the comments below if you picked it up. What did you think of the film? And in the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. I put out videos every single day. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.